Welcome back, folks. If you're just tuning in, my name is Duggan, and this is Satisfactory. And we are picking up almost where we left off. I actually played last night, and I don't normally play off stream, but I had just a straw in my hat, if that's the phrase, that I wanted to get this section of the factory we're working on up and running. And I'm realizing quickly that I have to spend more time planning things like staircases and power and all that kind of stuff. But what we did was we were working on aluminum, and we were bringing the aluminum up from below and sending it along to be produced over here. And actually, let's go down. Let's go downstairs first. And go down here. Oops. So this is where all the aluminum is being started. So we've got bauxite coming in here, and this seems to be flowing pretty well. There doesn't seem to be any issues here. The hang-ups with our production in aluminum is now apparently we're not able to get rid of stuff fast enough. We have enough input, it's just that our output is not really working. However, it looks like everything is moving pretty well. The stutters are a little bit strange. I don't know what's happening. I don't know whether the belts stuttering is an indication of a blockage or whether it's just that when you merge things together they get sketchy. So we'll have to sort that out. But we've got concrete coming out as our overflow byproduct, and the scrap of course is going upstairs, and I was just up there, so we'll just go back over this way. If you're lost, I don't blame you. The hypertube situation is a bit of a spaghetti mess. So all of our scrap is coming up from down below, and it's being smelted. Now, this looks like it's running smoothly now, but some of them are backed up, and they shouldn't be, and I don't know why they're full. So I don't know what's happening there. That should not be a thing, because we are turning all of it into products down the line. Yeah, like this stopping like that is weird to me. I don't know what's happening there. And my guess is that it's because, see, that's empty, but then this one is full. And this isn't moving. And it should be. It should be very smooth. And I don't know why it's not being smooth. Anyway, so this is all making aluminum ingots. But then next door, and if I go downstairs, you'll see that I've made some changes to the approach. T30 Drifts, thanks very much. Good to see you. And I appreciate the kind words. It's nice of you to say. Bee in your bonnet? That's a good phrase. I like that. That would make sense. So we do have things being produced from aluminum and being sent down here. And the way that I've done this is that I've added a staircase to the left, and I've added our power management to the right, at least temporarily. It doesn't look very nice, but we have aluminum production and we have aluminum refinement. So these are on separate circuits now. So if you look at our, that's the refineries and the smelting, and then production is the stuff we built yesterday. So this is an unused quartz factory, but we're going to have to revamp. But then here we go upstairs. You can see our copper coming in behind the window. And you come up to here. And now this is all done. We've got aluminum casing coming out there. We've got copper going in here. And yes, it's supposed to be that slow. And then we've got sheets, all-clad sheets coming out here. Now this is never going to be a full line because this is a 480 belt and we're only making 460 or 360, but these should be full. These should be constantly full. And it looks like everything is at 100%. So that makes me wonder, if these are at 100%, why are those slow? So that's good. We are 100% on our casings, and I don't think we're at 100% on these. Oh, we are. And my solution to this was to bring this down and send it up over. But yeah, see, like, it has this stop. I feel like that should just be flowing steadily. But maybe that's the splitter making that pause. I'm not sure why they pause. If anybody familiar with the game wants to let me know. Because this is steady. Like, this doesn't seem to stutter. That just kind of does its own thing. So that means that this is at full tilt. I had made some mistakes. This was a Mark III belt. And it had to be Mark IV. So these are all coming out here and being sent down that way. And that's the production of the sheets coming in here and then being sent up to the top. And then for a design, which I think is what we're going to start with today, so I don't want to leave this too unfinished. I like this idea of these kind of arches, these design arches. And so we've got a window here to look outside. We can see the exports happening here. If I had my way to do it again, I'd maybe move that over, but we don't have enough space out front. That may still happen. And the one mistake I feel like I made here is that I designed this. I didn't design the staircase first. Had I designed the staircase first, I would have come up and landed here. Like, I would have been up another 4 meters because I think you have a better view of what's happening. So in future, I think when I build factories, I'm going to make sure that you arrive higher than the machines. And so that would be a good way to do it. Now, had we built this at the regular floor height instead of having a subfloor, then that's what would have happened, right? But we didn't do that. But I like this idea here of creating like this structure. So for people that don't know, we're trying to base everything off of Devastator, and he's got a lot of angles, a lot of like 30-degree, 45-degree angles on him, lots of different color. I'm decorating this right now in some white, but I like the machines being white. We may start making more purple and green stuff like this, but for now, I like that. And I need to consider the roof. The good news is this is all trash, so we can get rid of all of that. And we don't have to worry about this height. We can change this if we want to. So I'm thinking about putting like a a small ceiling place to put some lights in here, because I think this needs to be lit up quite well. And I don't know whether I'm going to do a skylight or whether I'm going to actually put lights down. But I think to contrast the shiny floor, we're going to do a regular concrete ceiling. And then I think we'll put in some more of these supports. So to kind of give you an idea, I measured this out, and unfortunately it doesn't really work specifically to the right height, because this ends up being shown through there. And there's not a heck of a lot we can do other than dropping it into the floor a little bit. But what we can do, which I didn't realize, if you hold down Control, then you get these little increments. And so that's what I did over here. It's just past the crease. So there's 2. And then for the angle here, I used a beam. And it looks like I was aiming it right at the crease. So you just take an architecture beam. You change it to diagonal. Put it where you want it. 5 meters. And then you can attach one of these to the end, remove this, and then you can tag the other two on there, like that. And then on the front, we can just continue this along. And that color is that color trick that I posted in the Discord, where this is actually at an 8. And because of that, it'll take the white concrete and give it a very bright color. And then we can just extend this. Copy that. And I feel like that looks pretty cool. It all fits in the frame. Zero, thanks very much. Yeah, I'm going to spend a little bit more time, I think, finishing these factories, these floors, like these rooms, making them look good. So where's our end? We're going to go all the way down here. So I'm going to leave that open for now just so it's not crazy dark. And this is all going to be here. I also goofed and I took over some of our cavity wall that I didn't mean to. And I don't know, do I want this to be open like that? Probably not until there, right? And then for the walls, I really have not thought that far ahead. First thing I'm going to do is finish all these pillars. And you can see I kind of marked them out. And so it was like 1, 2, 3 on the 4th. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's in the middle of the 5. So there's 10 in between here. And then it's 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th. So we'll quickly put these together. Where are you? You go here on the seam. So hopefully this is in the right spot. Yeah, I feel like that'll look good. I think that'll be a nice echo of that support shape as things go down the line. Let me see here. So I did it as like the 5 meter, I think. Do these all at the same time. Try to make them the right angle so they're all the same. This is the hard part. I don't find that this angle thing is very Intuitive. I feel like that's a weird angle. I want it to be a 45. Being really finicky. Why can't I get it to do what I just did? Yeah, it's not doing it. It's weird. Alright, I guess we'll just make sure it doesn't touch. So why is this... That's too low. That's why. Yeah. That was the problem. Those are both right. Okay, cool. Fairly simple design, actually. It doesn't take a lot to put together, which is nice. Thanks for looking into supporting the content, T30. If you want, check out Patreon. That's outside of Streamlabs. You can also just do straight PayPal if you are feeling like you'd like to support the stream. But you can also join Patreon. It's $2 a month, which is pretty affordable, I think, less than the price of a cup of coffee. And you can also have it like it automatically renews. You know, you don't have to. You don't have to do it every month. It'll just automatically come out. Now, how did I get that on the side of that beam? Is the question. My guess is that I somehow did this. Did I touch it? Yes. I really wish these walls wouldn't Z-fight with like the top of the thing. I think it's really tricky there. Need to go, Zero. Thanks ever so much. Appreciate you hanging out for most of the day. Have a fantastic evening. Oh, I went wrong space. That's all the sides. Oh, no, I forgot this one. So it doesn't quite touch, but I'm not too worried about it. That there. Now, if you ended up liking this kind of stuff, you could easily make one of these pillars in the blueprint designer and then utilize them in different parts. But I'm going to try to make different designs for my factory floors so that they're not all exactly the same. I do find building in the game is pretty fast though, so that part is pretty easy. And I find that these metal pillars are a nice echo of the metal pillars that we've got down here in the middle. I really like the white. At least for now. I can see us using more black and purple as time goes on. Yeah, very cool. So we could use glass up here, which could be fun. And we have either glass flooring or glass roofing. The glass roofing, unfortunately, is not like 100% flat. It's actually, it has a little bit of an angle to it. And the glass floor has a beam in the middle of it. But I've been leaving these things wide open. Because this is asymmetrical, which is annoying. And I don't know what's happening up here on this floor yet, so I want to leave this with some options. So I'm probably going to leave this be. That wasn't terrible. I would rather focus on the walls. And I did some cool stuff next door. We go downstairs, which is a very complicated, unplanned, nesty twist of stairs. I like what we've got going on here on the walls. Now, obviously, we've got concrete on the walls, and then we've got, foundations, and then we've got concrete here. But I like this kind of like angled stuff, so I'm going to try to do a little bit of that. And I don't know about the dark walls. I kind of feel like we've got like a light colored floor. I think I like the dark gray. But here's where we could do some fun stuff with the walls, right? So we could do... Are these in the right spot? Yes. So hopefully that's halfway. Yeah, it is. Right? So we could keep the white at the top and then change the bottom to gray. Is that outside? I hope it's not outside. I'm pretty sure it is. Probably. Yep. Crap. Well, we could always do something out here to hide it. And there's nothing to say that these things have to be green. We could make some different changes. Would you make them in a blueprint maker anyway? Or sort of have them as a visual library? Yeah. Yeah, the pillars? Totally. They would be very easy to reproduce. If I wanted to do it again, I would do it in the blueprint designer for sure. So this doesn't quite line up weirdly. You think it would, because it's all on the same grid. But it's pretty close. Oh, I'm out of metal plates. That doesn't happen very often. A blueprint designer in Minecraft. Wow. That would be interesting. That would be a really neat mod. Although really probably complicated and hard to make. But even if it was only one chunk, you know, like it was only 8 by 8 by maybe 32 or something, that would be pretty cool. What else are we short on? Concrete. Don't need those. That's pretty good. Yeah, this even looks cool from up here, so I'm not sure if I really want to fill that in. Now, to try and offset this a little bit and make it look nicer, we could try changing this here. Although that doesn't work. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it does. I don't know about that, though. Maybe we just need to go down by 1. And I feel like maybe behind the pillars, we'll get rid of these, and it'll just be straight, small, smooth walls. These just feel so boring. I wish we could do more with them. I don't think I want to go anything else in here. Hmm. Yeah, the pillars look cool. I agree. And thank you. And the roof is going to be pretty dark. We don't really have to do much, which is nice. I have to get the wall. This obviously has to go up to the roof, though. Do we like the concrete wall? I think I like the concrete wall better. We're limited with the colors for the concrete walls. I've not been able to figure out how to get these darker. That's black. Like, that's as dark as we can get those. I'd like to try to have some sort of lights along the wall or somewhere up here too. If we were to put lights, I feel like these things are unfortunately ugly. If we did that, I'd like to have it like centered over the export, and we'll do a better job of this. Why is that putting it way up there? That's dumb. Oh, it's because it's one of those double. Yeah, they need to fix that. MindTripMedia with 100 bits. Thanks ever so much. You know, that's pretty good. I just would want to try and hide it somehow. I don't want to lower the ceiling necessarily, because that's going to interfere with the way that this looks. Right? Although I guess we could in the middle. No. We could, of course, do like a lowered frame around this thing. And of course, it's not the right width. That would be too easy. Yeah, trying to encase that is going to be a real pain. And they're much better with Luminon too. They look so different. Like if we change that, you can see it creates like this weird square. and it doesn't travel beyond that. But if we switch on the global illumination, which is really all I do for screenshots. I think I got the bits, MindTripMedia. If I didn't, I apologize. But thank you ever so much for the support. So it's still kind of a weird box. But that could be because it would be also like my lighting settings too. Light quality is at medium. Doesn't really affect much. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, it's not bad in here with the skylight anyway. So I'll leave that there for now. I do like the dark, and it's hard to get those to look as dark. And I'm not in love with that stripe either. Maybe we can do something creative here. Behind each pillar. Not that high. Let's go with a 2 meter. That's pretty fun. And then on the other side, we could do the same thing. This would just continue down. I think I like that. This feels a little bit bland here. Maybe we can take this and do this. And then we'll switch that to concrete. I don't know, it ends up looking more and more plain as I mess with it. And it's too bad that this can't be something without like a divot in it, but I think that's probably okay for now. So this whole top part is just straight 1 meters. I wish we had a full 4 meter wall that looked just like this. Make placing stuff a lot easier. But I think this is the same all the way along, right? It's hard with this stuff because if you don't have a plan, you end up having to make changes later. Oh, and this has got different spacing, doesn't it? That does not work. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Maybe I'll leave the middle one out of this. Who knows, maybe there's going to be a door there. Could be better. I feel like we could do better across the top here with something. There could be lights here too. Maybe to fill that in, we could use these kind of lights. I don't even know where the middle is. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the middle there. I'll run this real quick just to kind of see if a light is something we might want there. Very bright. We may not want that. We can make them dimmer, of course. The other thing we could do to break up the top of the wall there is we could use signs. And you can do cool stuff with beams now. How do I rotate beams? Right, so if I choose a beam, let's say we wanted our lights to be at about that level. I can't do vertical nudging, which is annoying. But I can rotate this. And they rotate in 15 degrees. So 1, 2, that's 30 degrees. And that's 45. I should have moved that into the wall. Try that again. Alright, so build the beam. 1, 2, 3. Lock it. Oh, and then hit the wrong button. Come on. And it moves it in a weird way. That is bizarre. But what that means is that we could take some lights from here. This could look cool. I really need to just make some light blueprints. Two. I like that. I think that looks pretty cool. We may have to make them brighter, but I think that looks pretty sharp. Thanks, T30. Now the easy way to continue this... Oh, didn't quite get it to the right spot. I guess we'll just make a little addition like that. Just to keep it consistent. Oh, it didn't rotate it. That's annoying. Is that right? Looks right to me. In some ways, I feel like the nudging increments should be default. Oh, did I do that too far? There should be 5 of them, yeah. Like, I feel like these signs should just naturally go in smaller increments without having to lock it. Sometimes I feel like the game adds a couple of key presses that don't necessarily need to be there, but... Yeah, looks good. So we'll just continue this along the back. This doesn't have to be the end. I might leave that open. These are supposed to be black. The one thing I struggle with in this design for these factories is to try to make it look like it has the same sort of like busyness and like the internal gears and the electronics that you would see in the hinges, like in the waist and the knees and the elbows of the Transformers. I find that hard to communicate in this game. We don't have a lot of fine details, you know? So we haven't decided how to turn the corner. But that goes down after a full length. That's good. And then I think that's just, this is black at some point. Come on. Grab that, flip it over. Then paint it black. And what goes in there? Right. Now I did not design any windows because I don't know. I think this is not going to be open air. I think this is going to end up being a factory. Not that you can't have windows between your factory rooms. That also is something we could do too. I think that looks good. And we could fit windows there if we really wanted to. And then this is just the end of the room. And maybe we can find some sort of pattern or design or something to put up there. Make it look good. If we end up making a door here, we might end up making some sort of pattern. I'll just leave it open for now because I'm not sure what's happening back here. Are you able to adjust the colors of every prop or building place, or just most of them? Most of them, and in some cases it's not the whole thing. So for example, if I wanted to paint this orange, it doesn't change the metal bits, it just changes certain parts of it. And you can see there's like a primary and a secondary color. So this is green with a purple accent, and this is purple with a green accent. And then there's my other setups. Right? So you can kind of like get the idea. So it doesn't change everything all the time. Now on the walls, it 100% changes the whole thing. But concrete walls, they work like terracotta in Minecraft, where if I make this blue, like it makes it kind of like a powder blue, right? Not like a bright blue. And so if you're using concrete, you're kind of limited unless you're using concrete foundations or pillars, because these, with that brightness trick, you can get to be very bright. So instead of a powder blue, I could make that a much brighter color, right? Yeah, questions are good. Don't never feel bad about asking a question. I just feel bad if I miss it because I get kind of sucked into the game. So here we are at night with the lights. Now these don't give off real light in the game until I turn on global illumination. I'm going to do that quick just to show you. See, now they kind of light up the area. You can see the reflections down there, and they have a nice bloom around them. It looks a little bit crappy. It just might be my graphics card. May also have to turn the settings up high. But yes, I do need to take a break. Thanks, Cosmic. Still kind of weirdly wobbly, but fun for screenshots. Although the floor still feels pretty dark, so we're probably going to have some sort of lights above them somehow, somewhere. I need to look up a faster way to turn global illumination on. I think there's a key, like a command you can probably punch in. That would be cool. Still, looks good. It goes with the white theme of our aluminum areas. I am going to pop over, jump on the break train. Anybody that's new to the stream, I take a break once an hour, but you get to ride the train. It shows off a little bit more of the world. And I'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. So I run into this issue all the time where I want to move on, like I want to move on to another factory component, but I don't want to walk away from this without finishing the design. So we'll finish up the other wall, and then I have to look at the floor, and then the stairwell. But I like it so far. I also like the idea of each room, depending on what's being made, having a different vibe. Like we did blue for screws and gray for rods, white and gray for aluminum. Thank you, Cosmic. Thank you, T30. Right back where we started. We've got to finish this other room too. That won't be today. I think the hardest part of all of this is always trying to figure out the lighting. Always the challenge. This is what the underside of this looks like, by the way. I tidied this up. But these should be full, and there's some weird stutters in them. So those are going slow, and then some of these are going with a bit of a stutter, and I don't know why. I don't need those anymore. But then it looks like they're going pretty smooth when you look at the line here, right? Well, there's a little bit of a stop to it. And these never stay open. I want them to stay open, but every time I restart the game, they reset themselves. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Still not sold on that light, but I like that look. It's funny, I like this one, but this one feels strange to me. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Straight all the way along. Man, the fact that we can do this... Oh, ran out of plates. The fact that we can do this with the zooping method now is so nice. This would have taken forever in older versions of the game. DJ, Crazy Gamer, good to see you. Welcome in. I'm doing well, thank you. It's been a good day. It's been one of those weekends where it's just been dreary and rainy and damp and cold, so... I really don't mind. I mean, like, not that I mind streaming and stuff, but it doesn't feel at all like I've missed out on anything, you know? Like, there was some tree lighting ceremony and some fireworks here in Dartmouth last night for, like, the Christmas downtown. It was rainy and gross. I was like, I am so glad I didn't try to go to that. It would have been just awful. Just awful. So... I stayed inside, and I unfortunately watched the new Indiana Jones movie. And it wasn't terrible, but it was just kind of meh. And that's not what you want from an Indiana Jones movie. And I kind of wish they hadn't made it. And I do like this gate wall, so I don't know, maybe we need to make the end of this darker. Because I like these, and I like how dark it is. Maybe we need to figure out a way to get this to connect. That's going to change the outside, I know. Oh, not black. Right, that's dark gray. That won't work. Put this down here. You know, when we have a wall selected and you hit E, it just gives you 2. I wish it gave you all of the walls. Like, I wish it gave you the angled ones too. That'd be very helpful. Need the upside down. I was hoping that was going to be easier. That looks okay. We didn't have to change this to, I think, the solid ones. I don't know. It gets funky. That's not terrible. If I can do this, maybe that'll help break up the wall a little bit. I just don't know if I want to do that on both sides. Might be cooler if that continued, but I'll leave it like that for now. I wonder if I could just end that right there. think I like that better. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that means I could eliminate these and have something larger. Breaks up that monotony a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Still not great, but better than it was. And yeah, we'll leave those solid. So we could do some cool stuff here because this is an inside wall and we can cover it with whatever we want. Tony Hancock, hello. I could spend a year trying to do this and it would still look terrible. Damn gifted artists and their creativity. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. What can we do here to make this look cool? I generally want to use a different angle. So something like this would be good. Yep, and then not a big fan of all this. I like this shape. And I'm curious if we did like an angled wall like here. But if I use the nudge tool thing, you're like, this is the natural position of it, but you can nudge them back now. I don't know if I want an overlap there. Kind of makes the window look cooler. I wish we could frame the window in black, but we can't. If I did black windows, they show up outside the frame, right? Which is too bad. I mean, we could, there's ways to hide it if I really wanted to get into that kind of nitty-gritty stuff, but I don't think I want to at this point. Do I have like a concrete roof? I don't think I do. Flat roof. Oh, right. It would just be a concrete foundation, really. That doesn't touch because of the way that I nudged it, so we'll have to do like a little half foundation. Now, minus the weird cord going to the light, we can manage all that. There'll probably be a separate thing for the lights when the time comes. Really get yourself sent into a corner here sometimes. So that goes through because I nudged it the wrong place. Let's get rid of that, but we'll put this one in here and then we'll nudge it. Still not vertically the best, but it creates an interesting angle at the very least. Cool. And I'm not sure what's happening over there. That might be open. That needs to be some power management at some point. Well, let's get back to this. Now here is going to be tricky because we did a change in the wall. So it's 2 on the bottom. We've got a door here that I want to keep. So this is where things might get a little asymmetrical. Is that right? Yeah. We really like a more consistent way to aim. That goes there. Maybe we'll just keep this all the same. That's supposed to stop there. What I might do is use the 1 meter thing like that and then do the upside down here. That does not look the best. Maybe this is going to be better off as concrete. And maybe I can overlap these. Oh no, because that's going to cover the door. That feels weirdly blocky. Sorry, I feel like I'm spinning around a lot. Not a fan of how that ends either. I wonder if we could just use a pillar to cover that up. maybe a metal pillar instead. Not bad. That would eliminate the need for this part. Or maybe this would be better. Take this out. Oop, that was the wrong thing to do. I like that. No. There's some weird fighting going on here. Yeah, that messes up that gate wall, our gate thing there. Really screws around with our design, doesn't it? Don't really want to put it in the corner. I could. But I don't really want to put it in the corner. They always look a little bit funny. Plus it's going to be behind the pillar now. I guess we could do a door. But that's still going to have the same problem where I want to put it is a different pattern. The game is taking over your life, Tony. Taking over your life. Try to build with nature. Now I'm all about walls and foundations. Yep. Tear up the initial messy setup. Go from scratch in a neat way. Looking forward to it. What needs to be done. Or not looking forward to it. You know, there's something to be said about, like, paving the countryside in this game. I do like it. Alright, so I like that, what I have there. So we'll add that over here. I like that. I just don't know what to do about this. Maybe we just get rid of this. I mean, I like it over here, but I also wonder if it would just be better if it was gray instead of black. I think we've got too many colors going on. Oh, autosave. I don't want to spend the entire stream on this one room. We're almost there. Alright, so that's that. We have a single stripe that goes along the whole way. Now some of that's going to change through here. Yeah, it does look better with the small ones on top in this section. Oh, and then this changes here too. And we just flip this. And then continue on its way. And then we have to decide if we want to keep this thing. It could be cool to have this be asymmetrical. And maybe just have that goes past that. Don't know if I can get this to be the way that I want. So we could do something here to end that, you know, like we could do, maybe there's some sort of logistical thing that would make sense, like a power for the lights or something, you know, like if we had a pole like this. I do this in Minecraft a lot too. Taking something and just using some geometry to end, you know, a pattern, right? And yeah, it's asymmetrical, but there's a door here and there's not a door there. So maybe too far. Maybe we just go up to the white. I don't know. It's good enough for now. So then it's just the lights, right? Is it here? No, it was there. Lock it. No. Don't lock it. 1, 2, 3. Then lock it. And then... yeah, I'd say that's right. Weird, I don't have to nudge these. The other ones I couldn't get in the right spot. I'll take the win. And I guess, I don't know. These beams could be painted. We don't have to leave the beams white. They probably look better white. But copy. Fazu Battlecaster, hello. There was a pixel raid a long time ago. Were you lurking? Were you along for the raid ride? Yeah, Pix was playing Final Fantasy today and sent the crew along to me, which was very lovely. Looking sharp. Ooh. I don't know. That's kind of fun. I think I like a colored beam. What do we think? Left or right, chat? White beams. I mean, alternatively, we could also do purple beams. Devastator colors. That's actually not terrible either. White, purple, gray. A very subtle difference between those grays, but not much. Purple, purple. Everybody likes purple. I think that's the same purple. 66387B. Yep. Green beam. I mean, that's not terrible either, you know. I think I prefer the green over the purple. I mean, whatever. It's 4 clicks. We can change it like we change our mood. There's nothing else that's green in here other than the lights of the machines, though. So we are missing a little bit there. That line up does. Sold. We're doing that. That's fun. And that does help tie it into the green at the front here. A little bit. Not really. Yeah, that's good. I like it. Is the Satisfactory world infinite, or can you run out of resource eventually? So the resources are infinite, but the world is finite. There is a edge to the map. You can see it right there. But that's the whole world, but it's handcrafted. There's like an edge with like the abyss. You can see the white line there. And then there's just a straight up edge of the map here, which is not as creative as this. I kind of hope they give us like an actual edge all the way around before they're done. But that allows them to do these great vistas. Like if I get outside here, it allows them to put in things like that mountain, right? Like all that is beyond the edge of the map, but because of the way that they've done it, it looks really cool, right? No, it's not procedurally generated, T30. So it's static. But the way that it works is that there's nodes, and I'm not sure if we can see any from up here. Get up here a little bit. I'll show you quickly. There should be some open nodes over here. Yeah, there's one there. So that is a concrete, it's a limestone node. And so you build your miner on top of the node, and it just constantly puts out limestone. For as much as you need, as long as you need, it just does it. So it's not about consuming a limited amount of resources like in Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft is unlimited, it's just that you have to get everything manually. But here it's about balancing the ratio of everything. That seems to be the big thing. Why are you stuttering? That shouldn't be a thing. You were at 100% at the start of the stream. And now these are all, yeah, these two are at 70. Weird. Okay, well the only thing that we've got left to do is the lighting, and that I am really not sure about. So I'm going to remove that. And that means I'll get rid of this as well. So that is our power coming in from below. And I guess the only thing to do in here maybe is going to be to change anything on the outside. I guess I've got to look at this. We've created a problem here. And I guess 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3. We could do this with 2. I like this 2 wide gap, although we don't need it. So what I'll probably end up doing here to cover this up quickly. And then we'll just move this back. That's if that even stays there. This is going to be completely redesigned. And this is what I'm talking about before. We're now, if I come in here, we are now a full 4 meters above the factory floor. So it'll be a cooler view of whatever we decide to design in there. So hopefully we can move forward. And honestly, it's probably a good idea to start thinking about what's going to happen in there and start removing ugly things like this. So these are actually powering that radar tower, and I'm sure I can come up with better ways to do that. I don't know about those being colored. Maybe we need to just make these gray. And thought we had colored belts for quartz. Guess they're just white. I don't think I mentioned, but I've taken all these down below and I assigned a couple of lanes to them. Now these all can head down this way. So this is all of our aluminum production. We've got plates, or sheets, and casings. And they all are currently being sent to the garbage run. But slowly this main bus is starting to fill up, which is cool. It means we've got access to a lot of parts. Is there an end? So the story hasn't been released yet. That's going to be part of when they release the final version of the game. But they have... there's milestones. So I need to pop up to my storage anyway. They give you tasks. You have to complete space elevator parts, which are different than production parts. Space elevator parts are usually only used to make more space elevator parts, whereas production parts are used for your inventory as well as more and more complicated things. So a really good example of a space elevator part. I don't know if I have any just kicking around. Maybe in here? No. Nope. Anyway, you have these tiers to work through, and every time you go through a tier, there's sub-tasks. So it's like tier 4 has got all of these, tier 5, and so on. We're at tier 8, and we're halfway through it. So there's a space elevator part. Thermal propulsion rocket. Turbo motor is not. That's something that's used for regular stuff. But this is like a really complicated thing. And so I think that might be the final piece, actually. That or the nuclear pasta. Yeah, we're pretty far along. So you have been playing this from before I started watching you back in 2020, or is this timeline for it to be released? This is in early access, and I've been playing since 2019 or 2020. I'm pretty sure I saw Exumavoid play it on YouTube, and that's how I got into it. I think we're good for parts. So essentially what we have in that finished area that I just did is all of this stuff here. So we have the ingots that I showed you at the start of the stream going into 1440 and 180, and then we have the sheets which you saw coming out. Those are being made at the assemblers. The casings are coming out the front. That's the main kind of attraction in that factory. Now, with aluminum casings, we're going to be using those to make batteries, fused modular frames, and radio control units. But then the sheets are really only used for heat sinks and an alt for the battery. So these, we didn't need nearly as many of these. So we'll eventually have these go on to do heat sinks. And these ones are going to go on to do a lot of things. We need to do batteries, fused modular frames, radio control units, all that kind of stuff. The main thing now, I think we have to backtrack. And I am not making at this factory motors, stators, or rotors. And those are heavy copper production. So I think that's what's going to happen in that space there. Pretty sure. And eventually I want to clean up these hypertubes and stuff. And I'm not sold if these are going to be the final exports, because I really like what we did over here with these kind of like metal looking things coming out. I want to do something more like that. But again, I need to take some time and figure out some cool ideas and shapes to mimic Devastator. He's got some vertical lines and some things that I want to put in there. So really, outside of doing the motors and stators, which is happening here, because all of our copper is right there. So copper for stators is going to be essential. These are doing nothing, so those are probably going to go away. The only other thing I have to consider is Caterium. And we have Caterium right here. Is that it there? Yeah, there's Caterium there. Nothing is happening with that. But then we also have Caterium coming in on the train. We've got Caterium coming in from way over here. There's a Caterium mine there, and there's two here. Now these are being turned into iron Caterium ingots, but we have a pure ingot recipe which we can do in refineries. So I may end up putting refineries here for Caterium, because it's a nice low section, because we lose the depth as we go farther to the west. We lose the depth until we get back down to here, but then I've already filled this space with our refineries for aluminum. So the only other spot to do Caterium with refineries, which would give us a lot of Caterium, and you definitely want a lot of Caterium in this game, and that's going to be way at the back over there. We've got space over there. Jody Illyria, hello. Good to see you. So we've got this huge space right here that could have lots of refineries, and that is potentially where we're going to do the Caterium refinement, right? Because I've got to figure out the proportions on that. So one way right now we do Caterium. There's Caterium ingots, right? And so you go 3 ore to 1 or 2 ore to 1. So you increase your productivity by 50%, but you increase your power output by a lot too, right? Because you're dealing with refineries and you need water. And it's a slower production per minute, but you get more for your resources. So generally speaking, you don't want to bring Caterium ore into the base. You usually want to refine it on site because it gets so exponentially large. Because this goes into quick wire, and I'll show you what happens with the quick wire. So it takes 1 ingot and turns it into 5 quick wire. So it quintuples your process, right? And if you do copper, then you can get 12. And the problem there is that you want to make this where you're using it, because this on belts just fills up incredibly fast. So the idea would be to make Caterium here, and then everything else that we need to make from Caterium would be happening like in the way that we've got this stuff here. It would be happening on the upper floors. So rather than sending the Caterium somewhere else, we'd be sending it straight up, or to the awesome sinks over this way, right? Would be down below. We also have to figure out where we're going to put the crystal oscillators. And I think what I'm going to do, crystal oscillators are used in another recipe. And I think the thing to do would be to build... Oh, I'm losing power. Build the crystal oscillators over here somewhere, because we're going to need plates. And then instead of refining the crystals from quartz over there, I think I might move quartz and have the quartz processing happening over here. And then that way, if we do quartz over there, it'll be silica. And if we do quartz over here, it'll be crystals. I'm still sort of working through how that's all going to go. But I need to start doing what I did to the aluminum factory here today to all of these things. Like, we need to make these things look a lot nicer. And I'm not redoing any of the belt work or any of that. We're just going to have to deal with what I did and encase it, and go from there. But yeah, this is looking really good though. Like, I feel like it's coming together quicker now, and we are no longer worried about parts, with the exception of rotor, stators, and motors. They're being made. They're just not being made here. They're being made at the base of that space elevator, way in the distance, where my starter factory is. So I got to run some numbers on Caterium. But really, what's happening? We've got alternative recipes. So some of these pipes are being sent down there to be destroyed. And what we're going to do instead is we're going to send them directly across the way, and we're going to make stators and stators and rotors, I think, out of pipes. I think I have the thing. Is it stator? Yeah, so stators are made with pipes anyway. But I think I've got rotors. Yeah, so instead of screws, again, no screws, we're going to use pipes. Pipes and wire. Right, so it's steel and copper instead of iron. And so we'll make those over there because the copper is happening right below. So that is where I need to wrap things up for today, folks. It is dinner time for me, and I've had a fun afternoon. I hope you have too. Going to have lots of cool things to do as we have more time to be creative in this space now that we've got all of the technical stuff almost licked. You can follow me on social media, Joel Duggan, very easy to find. You can, of course, check things out like the free podcasts that I do. The Spawn Chunks is recording a new episode tomorrow, and the Citadel Cafe should be recording this Wednesday with Steven. I'm going to be talking about a few movies that I've watched. You can also follow me everywhere on social media, like I said, and check out Patreon. If you are getting value out of the streams, if you like hanging out with me, if you like having me on in the background while you're doing some work on your weekends or during your weekdays, then consider putting a little bit of value back in. $2 a month, it's less than a cup of coffee, certainly less than a coffee at Starbucks, and it helps me out a great deal. It renews automatically. You get access to the Discord. Patreon is one of the best ways to support your favorite streamers. Barring that, you can also use Twitch subs, Prime subs. If you got an Amazon Prime, then hey, I'm flattered if you want to use your Prime sub on me. So we will see everyone next time. Scheduled stream is next on Thursday. I hope to pop a few more streams out this week, but it's the holidays and I've got some stuff I have to take care of, so we'll have to see. But stay tuned on Twitter and in the Discord for heads up on when those streams happen. Let's just see who is streaming, and we'll pass you along. Let's go with member of the community, Elcorn95, streaming, I believe, on Infinity Cove. So you'll have a good time there. They were here earlier, and this is my patron server. So Elcorn and several other members of the community are at the Patreon level that allows them to play on the server. So you'll have a good time with Elcorn. I will see you all next time. Have a fantastic Sunday. Bye for now.